It's very curious that in the story of the Saint Seiya manga, old Mitsumasa Kido is the father of the 100 orphans who were sent to become knights. We know that only 10 of those 100 orphans returned as bronze saints, which implies that the other 90 lost their lives. Could it be that the bronze saints have something special in their blood? Could Mitsumasa Kido's legacy be that our protagonists are children of a god? Hello, knights and Amazons. How are you all doing? I'm Wes, and today we're going to investigate the story of Knights of the Zodiac. Let's reveal which characters in Saint Seiya are actually children of real gods. Let's take a deep look at the lineage of some knights from the classic saga, The Lost Canvas, and also Next Dimension, and understand how their stories can prove that they are legitimate heirs to the power of the gods. So go ahead and click like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's get into this awesome video. Is it biologically possible for a single man, no matter how rich and influential he is, to have 100 sons with different women? Considering that they all have exactly the same age range, and some are destined to become the most powerful warriors in the history of humanity. And what if I told you that the story we were told about Mitsumasa Kido is just a facade to hide a divine bloodline? This is one of the most talked about theories among fans for years, and it might finally be confirmed in the Heaven Saga. Could Mitsumasa Kido be the incarnation or host of Zeus's soul? To start this investigation, we need to go back to the starting point. Mitsumasa Kido was officially the leader of the Grodd Foundation, a global financial empire. According to the classic story, Kido was traveling to Greece when he met Aiolos of Sagittarius. Aiolos was wounded and handed him baby Athena and the gold cloth, asking him to protect the goddess. The official version says that Kido had 100 children with women around the world and sent them to the training grounds. The strangest thing is that the mothers of these boys died, and many of them lived in orphanages, with only a few ever knowing their real mothers, like, for example, Ikki and Hyoga. But let's be honest, this sounds much more like a mythological legend than the biography of a Japanese businessman. And in Greek mythology, the god known for wandering the earth, taking on various forms, and leaving behind an endless lineage of heroes and demigods, was Zeus. The theory is strengthened, especially given Zeus's absence in the Saint Seiya universe. While Poseidon, Hades, Artemis, and Apollo appear in the story to claim the earth or punish humanity, the king of Olympus is missing. What if he never left? What if Zeus had assumed the identity of Mitsumasa Kido to prepare the ground for the protection of Athena, who is his favorite daughter? The Bronze Saints, especially the 5 main protagonists, demonstrate a resilience that defies the laws of the human Cosmo. Pegasus Seiya, for example, is the reincarnation of the first human to wound the body of Hades in the mythological era. Reincarnation alone would explain the fact that he awakens the 9th sense, the supreme virtue, and wears a divine armor. But could there be something in his DNA, divine, pulsing blood, that makes it easier for him to connect with all this power and potential? Many might say that the knights are humans who surpass their limits through effort. Yes, that's true. But the franchise itself has already opened the door to divine ancestry. Among Athena's knights in The Lost Canvas, the work that tells the story of the holy war of the 18th century, we meet Tenma, the Pegasus knight of that era. For a long time, it was thought that Tenma was just an ordinary orphan with a latent and incredible Cosmo. However, the plot reveals that his father is Ioma of Mephistopheles, one of Hades' specters. But the twist is even bigger. In the manga story, it is revealed that Ioma is not an ordinary human. He is the reincarnation of Kairos, the god of time, the younger brother of Kronos. Kairos was forgotten by history and erased from the divine records, and because of that, he decided to intervene in the Holy War, using his own son, Tenma of Pegasus, as the central piece on the board. If Tenma of Pegasus is the son of a god, then why couldn't his counterpart in the 20th century be one as well? The divine bloodline would explain why these young men are able to achieve such great feats, while other knights train for decades and never come close to that. Ikki of Phoenix is another striking example. He is the only man in history capable of taming the Phoenix armor, which has self-regeneration properties that not even the gold armors have. Could Ikki be a direct son of Zeus? Given his aggressiveness and destructive power, the theory of the divine bloodline expands when we look at the Gold Saints. In Next Dimension, we meet Odysseus of Ophiuchus, or Serpentarius, the 13th Gold Saint. In terms of power, Odysseus is compared to a deity. He has healing abilities that defy death and a Cosmo that makes the entire sanctuary tremble. The legend of Ophiuchus goes back to Asclepius, the god of medicine in real mythology. In the plot of Next Dimension, the Knight of Ophiuchus was punished by the gods for trying to become a god. But what if the truth is that he already had divine blood running through his veins? Just like Asclepius from Greek mythology. His origin was not revealed in the story, so he could be the son of a god, just like in mythology. That would explain why his existence was so powerful. And it doesn't stop there. If we analyze the classic gold saints, many of them have characteristics that flirt with the divine. Let's take Saga of Gemini as an example. His extreme duality, the conflict between good and evil within him. Saga was often referred to as the personification of something divine by the inhabitants of the sanctuary, demonstrating that his good side was so grand that many ordinary people thought he was a divine being. But we can't talk about divine lineage without mentioning Shaka of Virgo. Shaka is known as the man closest to God. But his connection to the divine goes beyond meditation. He is said to be the reincarnation of Buddha in the Saint Seiya universe, where Buddhist and Greek deities coexist in a syncretic way. Shaka operates on a level of consciousness that his companions can barely comprehend. If Shaka has this direct connection with the Enlightened One, it reinforces the idea that Athena's sanctuary is not made up only of trained humans, but by an elite of beings whose souls, and perhaps bodies, possess a divine seed. In the hypermyth, the text that details the origin of the universe in Saint Seiya, it is said that everything began with the Big Bang, which spread the ninth sense throughout the universe. Those who managed to manifest this will in their bodies became the first gods like Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. If the ultimate goal of one of Athena's saints is to raise their Cosmo to infinity, they are, in practice, trying to recover this original cosmos. And in theory, in the case of the Orphans of the Grodd Foundation, they would have a predisposition to achieve this feat. That's because they are children of Kido, who in theory could be Zeus, and would have spread his seed to ensure that among the survivors, there would be those capable of manifesting the divine armors and protecting the earth alongside Athena. This completely changes the way we see old Kido in the story. He was a divine architect who selected the best vessels for the Olympian power, knowing that only through extreme suffering and human perseverance could the divine blood awaken in some of them. If we accept that the Bronze Saints and the Elite Saints are demigods, the level of power they can reach in the Heaven's Saga could indeed match and even surpass that of the Olympian gods. And where does Saori Kido, the reincarnation of Athena, fit into all of this? At first, Saori didn't know about her divine nature acting like a spoiled child. But as she awakens, her relationship with the Bronze Saints changes. And in this theory, if they are all children of Zeus, they would be Athena's siblings. And because of that, the romance that many hope will happen between Saori and Seiya would be impossible to come true. Athena is the goddess of strategy and just war. The love she feels for her knights can be interpreted as recognition of their efforts to save humanity. For decades, Saint Seiya has taught us about friendship, overcoming challenges, and the power of hope. But when we look at the hidden details at the subtext of the Lost Canvas and the revelations of Next Dimension, we realize that the story is much deeper than a simple battle between good and evil. The Bronze Saints are the last line of defense against Olympus on Earth. But are they really the children of a god? Only the unfolding of the Heaven's Saga will tell us if this will be confirmed or not. So, what do you think of this theory? Does it make sense to you that Mitsumasa Kido was actually Zeus? Leave a comment and let me know. Thank you for watching this video until the end, and see you next time. Burn your Cosmo to infinity.